So,
now we
welcome to our special episode reviewing the one and only
Nightcrawler.
The unrated cut. Just kidding, no. The Barbie movie. That just came out with Gwyneth Paltrow and Jake Gyllenhaal. Fantastic. What?
I thought you were really saying that. I thought you were saying that. This was definitely the best.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely the best.
100%. This was probably one of the movies that it moved me in a way that I didn't know that would be, because I didn't know what kind of movie it was going to be going into it. That was just me.
Yeah. But again, all these trailers don't really show one of the biggest points of the movie that we're going to get into.
Yes.
100%. But this movie's kind of almost like Spider-Man No Way Home type vibes because we're dealing with different, it's like a different multiverse or different dimension out there too, coming to another dimension. So would be the normal world. So I like that element of everything.
I got my Barbie pink on. Now, for those who are going to say, stop it right now.
I don't know any pink. I'm talking about myself.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was going to say, I thought you were going to, because as soon as I asked him, is this pink to you? I had a whole debate, actually. I wrote this at my job once. Everyone said I was delusional, and it looked like a purple.
It's purple.
It's not. This is pink. This is pink and white. So there's a fun fact, too, what Nick has here. We have a Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar Strawberries and Cream, folks, for this special review because it's pink and it's black and it's Barbie related. So I want to do a little bit of ASMR. Ready for this? 1, 2, 3. That was crisp. That was nice. So Nick already had this. This is my first time trying it, so we're going to do a little
smell it real
taste
quick? You smell the strawberries.
This tastes like artificial. It's going to kill me.
Maybe. What's arsenic?
It smells like a candle.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
It's probably healthy for you if it smells like strawberries.
But you know what though? It's zero sugar, so we're gonna do it. Okay.
It's a good combo, honestly. You do taste the. That's a big fucking sip. You do taste.
You
like it? Because I don't know.
It's like a strawberry cream shake.
Yeah, that's what it is. It kind of tastes like a Fanta-ish type deal too.
It's got a hint of Dr. Pepper in there.
Mm-hmm. Because Dr. Pepper's rough. Drinking Dr. Pepper, you taste everything.
Then
it's
you get hit with the strawberry.
Huh?
And that's not just like a strawberry, a freshly cut fruit. That's like the artificial, Duncan Hines cake mix.
Keto. Enjoy it.
For this review, I will enjoy this, but
I don't hate that.
Anyway, so we're going to get back into it now after we pivoted a little bit. That's okay. We do that normally here. It's a safe space for everybody. So let's just break it down. So number one, before we get into the acts, how did you like the overall vibe of the movie itself?
I thought it was pretty original for idea-wise, honestly. Coming out of we live in a world right now where everything is blockbuster based, clearly, because that's the majority of the podcast we talk about. We like a lot of superhero stuff, but original movies kind of do dwindle unless they have a certain type of hook. This movie has a really, really good hook. I mean, there's massive memes around this too. The amount of people that are going to go see Oppenheimer first, then go see Barbie, or vice versa.
That's another thing too we were going to get into.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other films that are really big blockbusters. Now, mind you too, Warner Brothers is doing Oppenheimer as well as Barbie, same exact weekend. So it's going to make how much money do you think overall two projects are going to make together?
I think for sure Barbie might make close to $1 billion.
Could be.
Just because anybody that I talk to about this movie too, they're like, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait. You know what type of vibe I'm getting? It's like when Batman vs Superman came out, where people were so crazy about it too, to go see it. I'm getting similar vibes with this too, because there's a lot of Barbie fans out there.
Oh yeah.
Too. This is their childhood.
And I didn't realize until the movie was over and I did research on just the overall the makers of Barbie and everything. I didn't realize that there was such a cult following because dolls back in the day in the 80s and 90s. Okay, I get it. But now it's everything's digitalized. I never thought dolls were still as big.
Yeah, this is their childhood.
This is literally it was really good. So I feel the same way. I felt like going into this I was skeptical, but watching how it was a great ensemble cast too. The cast is phenomenal. You got Margot Robbie, you got Ryan Gosling,
King,
Will Ferrell, which he was. I don't want to say he was heavily taken out of the marketing
No, he
for
is.
it.
No, he is. You don't see him in a trailer.
But let me tell you,
see him
he's
in a
got a
big-
really good part in this movie after we saw it for it was good.
It's clearly Margot Robbie's going to be Barbie. That's an amazing casting and everything. Ryan Gosling was a great pick. A lot of people are talking about he looks too old.
He has going on in the body composition that he has in the movie. There's a lot of shirtless scenes that he has in this movie, and he, for someone his age, he delivers. Like I'll just say that, like very.
Another good thing about this movie is too, a lot of the time when you think of Barbie, you usually do just think of like the standard Barbies, but they go deep into the lore of everything too. So there's a lot of diversity in the
I like
cast.
that a lot too. They have like a deep lore. In Barbie Land, where it's like upon a hill, so it's kind of like Wizard of Oz vibe, where it's like Dorothy's on the road, but there's like a place where all these Barbies go, like the throwaway Barbies, aka in reality the discontinued Barbies, which I found pretty cool too, because it keeps up with the world's continuity. And like those, if you look up those dolls that they named, there's a couple of dolls. They were all discontinued and real in like our real
Michael
time.
Cera?
Yeah,
Dude, Alan was a doll in the 80s apparently.
God.
And it was like only around for a little bit and everything. And he's not like a Ken, but he's Alan. And
He's just
like
Alan.
his own thing.
I loved him.
Because before we go into the overall, I think we should cover the plot first. The movie is hilarious. I thought the movie was
and also,
so funny.
It's very creative. Like what Nick was saying a little bit earlier about how movies have been lacking that originality. Like everything's either been a reboot, a superhero movie, a remake, a readaptation, something that, but it doesn't, original is like creating the foundation. This really has created the foundation for our brand new, like this could be a cinematic universe, and they are actually saying...
I'm going to put up the article. I found it.
They want to make a Barbie cinematic universe.
A Ken Solo movie, I heard.
And honestly, after seeing this and the way that everyone delivered their own roles, everyone deserves a fair shot in this movie.
It's hilarious. It really is.
It really is.
I guess going into the overall plot is you're introduced to the Barbie land. That's where it first starts off in the movie. And you could tell that it's like a completely different world.
Yeah.
Compared to everything on our planet. And you get to see Barbie's day to day, waking up and everything. It's very doll like too.
Very animated.
Way she brushes teeth, the way she eats and everything. It's all very Barbie based, and she's interacting with Ken. Ken is like a lovesick puppy almost vibe.
Yeah, a lot of not even just Ken, because there's multiple Kens in this movie.
When I say Ken, I'm meaning like Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling
he's like
specifically.
Tier Ken,
but all the Kens in general, Ryan Gosling is like the front person for like all the Kens. Just like Margot Robbie's Barbie is like the front Barbie for the entire. She speaks for the entirety of all the Barbies.
And as Justin's saying too, to piggyback off of that, in that world, the very important thing about that is Barbies rule the world. In that world, the Kens just
Barbies rule the world. Kens live in the world, and that's what it's about. And
you took that personal, all right?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
You know what? Because it's crazy. Because another thing that I thought the trailer did well was it covered up plot B. Like there was a plot, obviously, like Barbie going to the real world, and we'll get into all that in specifics and more. But like it really hid plot B, which when we watched it, I was like, "Oh my God, they're doing this." I didn't see it coming, but when it came, I was like, wow, this is what original feels like. And it was good and it was refreshing.
Yep.
But before we get, we'll touch on that a little bit later on. But basically, it's very animated. The way she gets up in the morning, the way she pours her milk in her cereal, the way the shower goes. Like, it's all animated.
Oh, God. You know the vibe that I got from it, honestly?
What?
It's almost like a Truman Show vibe.
Yes.
That's the vibe.
The same thing happens every single day.
Every single day.
In a cycle loop, because that's what happens in Barbie's world.
That's the vibe that I'm getting. You see Ken, he's like a lifeguard situation too, and he's always trying to go after Barbie and everything.
Yes.
That's the whole vibe about it. And all the Kens kind of bicker around each other too for the love and affection of a Barbie or just Barbie in general.
Their goal in life, all the Kens, is to have Barbie be so lucky to have Barbie be interested in.
That's their main
motive to be alive every single day in the Barbie world.
Yep.
And you really see that, but how it trickles down is just it's phenomenal. But basically, Barbie gets up, starts her day, and then it's every single day they repeat. She gets up, she gets her breakfast, she goes on errands, she sees everybody in town, says hi, invites them over to a party. It happens like the first 20-30 minutes of the movie. It's like what happens every single day. It's like a cycle, you know. And basically, part of that cycle is each night Barbie hosts a Barbie blowout party at her house where it has the whole entire town of Barbies. And all the Kens come and they all dance and everything. And you start to touch on basically Ryan Gosling's character, where he's trying to like, you know, impress Margot Robbie's Barbie. And I found that really interesting too, because you really saw the vulnerability. They were like, and like the great lengths that he would go just to have her say hi to him. It was ridiculous. It really was ridiculous. So, the scene I like too.
The surfing one.
The surfing one.
Yeah, the surfing one.
In the very beginning, she's on the beach, and Ken, being a lifeguard, he sees, you know, Barbie walking, and he tries to go into the water. Now, mind you, too, the water, it's plastic, it's fake.
Yeah.
But to them, it's like a real thing. So he tries to run in the water. It's like a slow motion kind of deal. He's running, then he smacks into this plastic, which is, I think it's so meta too, how they did that.
It is,
because that's how the doll world would be.
They all move very doll-like to it, the way that he moves into there and everything. Yeah, he gets like an MRI.
He gets an MRI, so he gets the whole, like the Barbie medics come in, and they take him, and then the other Barbie, you know, Margot Robbie's Barbie is just like, oh my God, Ken, and they follow to the hospital, and he's like, yeah, like, did I impress you, Barbie? And she's like, why would you do that? Like, why would you? It was so funny because you start to see it trickle out how real she starts to think as a human. It gets a little bit more in depth with it, but
and like each day that she keeps getting up and everything, like small little hints keep like throwing you off to like something's going wrong with her, where she's not on her high heels anymore.
Yes.
She starts to hit the ground. So she takes a shower or something like that. She feels cold and stuff. She's starting to feel more and everything. And apparently in the Barbie world, when that happens, that means that you're going down the road of being discontinued. Which is
cancellation in our world.
Yeah. Whoa.
True.
You're funny.
It's true.
Or you could just use it as an algorithm for age. Because remember, they kept saying, she's like, oh, well, you're going to start to, like, age, you're going to start to look different.
Parts are going to start to roll off you. That's what they basically say.
Cellulite, like, they said that, all that stuff about her. And then they decide to visit one of the other discontinued Barbies.
The land of discontinued Barbies. I love this. The girl from SNL.
Kate McKinnon plays her.
Phenomenal. Okay. She did I was fairly impressed with her.
I did research on that.
She played crazy. Is really good.
Apparently that was a real Barbie back in the day, like where you could destroy it. It came destroyed.
You know what?
You could destroy it, yeah.
I feel like it reminded me of Cynthia from Rugrats.
Look just like that.
Identical to Angelica's Cynthia from Rugrats, hands down. But basically, Barbie starts to realize that she has all these things happening to her, which indicate that something is wrong, whatever, because there's one scene before all that happens where she's like dancing. It's like the third night, right? So night number 3. After 2 days of back-to-back.
Oh, you really remember this, because I know what you're going to say.
Oh my God.
I forgot about this
She's like dancing.
You ever think about dying?
And does anyone else feel like, think about dying? The whole party stops and like, what?
Hoboken.
Just like, oh no, I just meant whatever. Oh, okay. Everything goes back to normal. But she starts to have these really depressive episodes, which indicate, again, something is going on internally with her. So she goes to the land of discontinued items. Basically, and this is where you get a lot of the information from the plot, which I love this
which is hidden
part, which is very original. It's hidden, but basically, the land of Barbie, right? It is directly over our world, so it's like a mirrored universe. So every single Barbie that is live action in this movie is an actual doll in our world that is paired with either
Voodoo.
It's so, but when you think about it, that's the most crazy. I think it's an original concept. I love that concept.
No, it's very original. Yeah. Coming from, we didn't touch on the director too, but Greta Gerwig. She's a very, very fantastic director too. She did Frances Ha. That movie's really, really good. She's been in a lot of really, really cool things, but this was like a complete 180 because she's an indie filmmaker too. So for her to make a $100 million blockbuster type movie when it comes to Barbie. So this is really, really cool. So the story is really fantastic on its own. And the whole point of them visiting that other discontinued Barbie, the one from SNL, is that they are basically told that you have to go to the humans world and try to figure out exactly what's going on to visit it's Hasbro, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is, right? That's
it's the most meta thing. So that's overall. But another thing is, too, she starts to have these visions, Barbie, too, beforehand.
Yes.
And she starts describing them, and basically it's like of a child. and it's of a sad child. And it's like this emo gothic looking girl. And she's like, oh my God, this girl, I could feel this girl's emotions. I'm connected to her. So the discontinued Barbie basically tells Margot Robbie and says that you have to find that person. In order to save yourself, you have to make sure they're whole and fine. Which is basically like, okay, let's be a therapist. However, now going into Act 2, you start to see the fleshed out, the journey of Margot Robbie's Barbie in this movie, as well as Ken.
Reminds me of like their travels to the world. It's almost like Elf, kind of.
Very much so.
It's kind of
like
weird that they have Will Ferrell in this too, because like they're traveling and everything. Ryan Gosling hides in the car too. So his Ken hides in the car when Barbie's going to go to the...
Right, so Ryan Gosling's Ken is just like, I want to impress Barbie so much that I'm going to sneak away with her.
The top dogs in that universe too.
No,
so
they're not.
They're more fragile. They're more just like, no, you're probably going to mess this up. You stay here, I'll go.
They're very, that's a good word.
Cavemen-like?
Cavemen, yeah.
Cavemen-like, I guess?
Barbie's our god and we worship her, we kiss her feet. Like that's how they are. Yep. So then it struck a chord in his mind and was like, I'm going to sneak in the back of her car and I'm going to go with her to this journey. So the next day, it's her driving in the car, and then Ryan Gosling pops up, and he's just like, I'm coming with you, and whatever. And basically, they go together.
What are you doing? Drive.
It's like...
the memes are
dialogue, too, in this movie is pretty, like, up there. It made me laugh. Now you have this whole montage, like you were saying about, kind of like Elf-like from the movie Elf. It was very Elf-like, the montage of them going to, like, the real world. And they finally go through the portal, and they're there, and they touch base in California.
It's California, right? That's Venice Beach, no?
Venice
so
Beach,
they go.
Sure, So then Barbie, now on you, they have the mentality where it's like, oh, if our world's so perfect, the humans' world is going to be just as perfect, right? Women are going to run the world, and it's going to be fine. That's what Barbie thinks.
Yeah.
They get to Venice Beach, and it is like you have all these like hoodlums and all these like they actually. Fun fact, I read this. Not to go off track or anything. It actually has something to do with the movie.
No, you never go off track.
Oh, thank you. During the filming, I don't know how true this is, I heard that they actually filmed these scenes in Venice Beach, and the homeless people in this movie are actual homeless people.
Oh, didn't they get in trouble?
And they didn't pay them anything to be in the movie.
That's Warner Brothers.
That's what was declared. I don't know how true that is. Watching the movie now, I'm like, oh wow, like those are not paid actors, are real. Like from watching we're gonna go to California this summer, and
we'll investigate. We're
gonna see what it's like. Basically, they come in and basically first off they're dressed like 80s go-go skate people.
Yep, the way they looked in the 80s. Like
obviously it makes them a clear target. They're not from that area, so everybody's just like looking at them like whatever. So then Barbie starts to have this like. Ken, like, I don't like the way I feel here. Like, I'm being looked at.
Oh, the catcalling.
Yeah, the catcalling.
Yeah.
The what's up, ma? Or all this kind of stuff is going on. And she's like, I don't like the way I feel here. This is not right. This doesn't feel like Barbie's world. Ken is now like, whoa, like.
Reality, the real world.
She's not liking the reality. So basically, her goal is to find the girl that she keeps envisioning now. So then Ken is just like, okay, you do that. I'm going to go off and try to help you undo my own journey.
And he goes to a library.
Uh-huh.
And he starts to read up on American history. And he reads all about American history, on how men and the patriarchy was running things forever.
George Washington,
yeah, he read about
JFK.
everything.
There's a montage of like videos that Ken starts to watch, and he's like, our founding fathers. Because in Barbie's world, the founding Barbies, I guess they're literally there's a mountain,
Mount Rushmore Barbies,
but it's
right?
all Barbies.
Yeah,
now he looks at the real Mount Rushmore, and he's like, wow, like they're men, and he starts to go like crazy, and he's like, wow, like this world seems so nice. And there's a montage. This is the best part.
It's so funny. He goes into like a hospital and he's like, I'm here to be a doctor. And she's like, do you have any background in medical specialties? No, I'm a man. I can do whatever I want. Yeah, I can do whatever I want.
Is there a man doctor I could talk to, actually? Let me speak to him.
Oh, dude, when he said that.
It is, I'm just like, this movie is going places where okay. So it gives it that, like, because you don't think the movie's going to go there, but it definitely, it goes there.
Mm-hmm.
So then it goes back to Barbie now, and she finds the schoolyard where this girl is, right? And she basically goes up to this girl.
High schoolers.
Right? Now, mind you, she's, to these people, you're crazy. You think you're Barbie? Like, Barbie's a doll. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So to them, the people in our world, let's just say our world, they don't know that Barbie world exists, right? So it's really weird. Only the creators of Martell know this world exists, which is that's another thing too, which I found really interesting. This girl is the girl that she keeps envisioning, right? And it is to a degree, but
it's a little twist.
It's a little twist on it, okay? The girl, again, I forgot her name, but she played an Ugly Betty.
She did.
She was great in this movie also. Both the girl who plays her daughter and great, phenomenal actress. But then you're introduced to this girl who's just like sick of life. And she's a little girl in the movie. She's just like how actually Barbie makes their world, girls her age hate themselves.
Oh, because they don't
and
look
Margot
like
Robbie's
Barbie,
just like, no, like, I'm supposed to do the opposite. Like, I am perfect Barbie. Like, we're supposed to be best friends. Like, I don't want you feeling that way. I didn't know the humans felt this way. And basically, this girl hates Barbie. Okay?
And it crushes Margot Robbie's
character. And then you start to see Margot Robbie's Barbie go through a midlife, like just correlate with who am I? What am I doing in this world? What am I doing in general in my world? Like, do I even have a purpose anymore? So then you start to see these like real life things that everybody goes through, both in our world.
Existentialism is not a thing that happens in Barbie world too. It's like the same thing day to day as we touched on before now too. Her being in the real world now, she has her own mortality. Those mindsets and ideas start to kick in and everything too. And I think the way that we find out that little twist was that girl gets picked up by her mom outside the high school, and then she starts talking about some nut pretending to be Barbie.
Yes.
And then we find out that actually that little girl is the mom, which I thought was a really interesting twist on it, on them trying to find the MacGuffin.
No. She works as a receptionist at the headquarters that makes Barbie.
Yeah, it must have been.
Then you're introduced to her character, and then you're introduced to the higher ups and executives of Barbie, which is AKA
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. Okay, he's the CEO.
And his legion of people in suits.
Oh my god,
dude, it's so.
So they're like
funny.
The creators and founders of Barbie, basically, right? So she works for them, and then you find out along the way, the mother was a huge fan of Barbie growing up. And actually used to buy Barbie when she was growing up, and she would always play with it to escape her reality because she had a very bad childhood growing up too. She got the daughter when she was younger playing with Barbie, and then as the daughter grew up and started to resent her mother because teenagers,
be rebellious and all that
so
stuff.
she threw the Barbies away. The Barbie, aka Margot's Barbie doll that was paired with Margot's Barbie, which is why she started to feel this way, because she then goes, oh my gosh, like, you're the girl that I'm tapping into the emotions with because you're sad that your daughter is disowning you. So that was a lovely, I thought that was lovely.
Each other. Yeah. It's a good
really
algorithm.
It was a twist. I did not see a lot of that movie coming, to be quite honest with you.
It's hilarious.
It is hilarious in many ways. And then after that, basically, Barbie's on the loose, and it gets back to the headquarters and Will Ferrell's character, and they're just like, we can't have this happen again. So then you hear a story. It happened once before. Now, mind you, the girl's mom, and the girl, she picks up from school, and the girl, like you said earlier, says to the mom, oh yeah, some girl came to my school looking for me, and she said she was Barbie. And then it clicked in the mom's head, like, there's a girl running around California pretending to be Barbie. Like, what do you mean? And then the Barbie was outside the school, and these people in black suits came in a van and picked her up. And the mom was just like, oh my god, that's real. We have to go after her and save her. So they intercept. Barbie gets in this car, and that's when they find out this revelation of, oh my god, you're the girl, the mom, that I'm tapping into the emotions with. Why are you so sad? Your daughter loves you. And then that's how this movie kind of turns, basically. So then Will Ferrell, right? So
he tries to talk to Margot Robbie's character on saying, like, oh, everything's going to be better if you get in the box.
Yeah.
just get in the box. And he tries to get her in the box too, so she's not going to keep tampering with the real world too, because he just thinks that it's going to mess up the company. It's going to destroy the overall brand of Barbie. Yeah, like, he doesn't want the real world knowing that Barbie world exists, so he can't have any of that get out. So basically, she then says, oh my gosh, well, you know what? I'll go back in the box, but like, also Ken's with me, and literally says, oh, that's okay, Ken. If he's running around, that's fine. We're not really worried about him. You have to get back in that box. So I'm just like, they show the importance of Barbie, and they kind of just throw Ken to the side.
And really, what that tells me as a viewer is
men are bad.
Men are bad, but also women are powerful. No, I mean, so that's what I got from it, though. Women are powerful. That's the whole message of the movie.
You don't say that when the camera's not recording.
Okay.
Say what you usually say.
Okay, I say that...
Say that like the 1950s were the best time to be a man.
You know what, man? You watch Goodfellas a couple times. It's great. Anyway, this guy over here. Okay.
Well, then there's a big chase scene. That's what happens.
Yes, so
really
she starts to pick together, oh my god, like, you're trying to trap me and you're trying to silence me. There's a whole chase sequence where basically she's running amok, and it reminded me a lot like The Matrix.
Reminded me like Scooby-Doo. It reminded me of Scooby-Doo, too, like the way they're running around. Like, nothing is funnier than Will Ferrell running after something and doing anything like that. Like, he's running around all these office cubicles, as you said, trying to run after her, and then it clicks in the mom's head that this actually, is Barbie, and I think she picks her up outside, and then they flee and they get away.
They flee, and they come to this revelation together, Then it pans back to Ken. This is like plot B. Ken has now gathered all these books and all these revelations with his time here. He goes, you know what? This world is great. It's run by men. I'm going to go back to Barbie world. I'm going to let all the Kens know how the world is run here because we have a voice here.
It's like cavemen finding fire.
Yes.
That's exactly what it was.
He goes back to Barbie world way before This is during like Margot Robbie being chased and the mother and everything. It's going off screen. He goes back to Barbie world with all this information. And he goes back, he goes, guys, we're going to turn this into, and this is going into like Act 3 now, basically, but we're going to turn this entire Barbie world into Ken's world.
Ken's world. Yep.
So then Barbie basically then it goes back to Barbie and they get away. And she was like, you know what, I would love, and basically the mother and the daughter are basically saying how cruel the real world is to Barbie and educating her, saying how basically, their father walked out on them and, she didn't have good luck with men overall. And Barbie's like, well, in my world, like, Kens love Barbie. Like, I can bring you to my world and I can show you how perfect the world is. You can come live with me. Then it goes to Barbie and it goes to the mother and it goes to the daughter. They're going to Barbie world and basically they enter the Barbie world.
Dude, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Any like stereotypical thing about men is in this movie. It's in this movie, and it is hilarious. And then she goes in and she sees that everything is drastically different. Now the roles have reversed completely, and the Kens rule everything, and the women are submissive. And I think they're even bringing them like drinks and like it's not the best.
So it's crazy because now Barbie's looking like a fool, and then literally. The mother and the daughter go, this is just like our world. Like, what you were lying to us to get us here. She's like, no, this is not. And then she goes to Ken. She's like, Ken, what are you doing? He goes, Barbie, like, I've now taken ownership, and this is my world now. Like, we have to live like the men and women in the real world. Mm-hmm. This is how it should be. And basically, like, goes against Barbie because he realizes that I'll never get Barbie. So it's like, I'm going to rule the world. Basically, all the Kens go under this like spell type of thing.
It'd be like it's like really macho, stupid stuff. Like almost like nunchucks.
There's what I love about this movie. The amount of montages, like the montages in this movie.
What did you learn about going to the beach and sitting with somebody on the beach?
Oh my god, there's
funny thing in the movie, honestly.
And we were on the floor,
dude. It was so funny.
Hysterically, like everybody around us was drawing. It was funny.
Because it shows like guys being that like stereotypical, just like I'm gonna take you under my wing, I'm gonna show you this stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. And dude, like every single Ken has a Barbie next to them, next to a fire, and he is acapelling. What was that?
I wanna push you out, and I will, and I number one, pick a song that resembles what's going on in this catastrophe.
It's kind of a perfect song to use.
It was perfect. The acting, the lead up to it was like it didn't fit. It fit perfectly, and I'm so happy that we both got to witness that. It was so. I can't.
It was really, really funny. That was part of the montage of all the Kens ruling everything now. But then Barbie, cause you go down and I will. And the Barbies, Margot Robbie's character, and then the daughter and the mother realize that they have to unbrainwash everybody, I guess, and remove everything there. So they team up with Kate McKinnon's character from SNL, and they just basically do like one Barbie at a time. There was a really, really funny scene too, which I felt personally attacked by this, because I guess I do this, where they're all pretending like they're still under the spell, and one of the Kens is watching The Godfather, and she's just like, "What's this? Like, I never saw The Godfather." He's like, "You've never seen The Godfather?" and she's like, "Oh, it's just a movie, right?" He's like, "No. Let me get into it." And it's like mansplaining a movie. I'm like, "This is literally me." I'm like,
oh man,
I never felt more attacked. And it's just like, "Oh, what is there? Like 3? Two?
I remember
we don't
that,
talk about
in the
3."
theater, you were like, "I feel attacked."
Yeah.
So we both do that too, to people. So I mean, we both fairly do that. They acknowledge the Godfather in that universe. It's the most funniest thing.
It's really, really funny. So
is there a part 3? We don't talk about that one. Okay.
Nobody really watches that one. We only watch 1 and 2. The way that they talk about everything is very macho based too. So they kind of just pretend like everything's okay again until they take it over. But Margot Robbie basically unbrainwashes all of them and reminds them who they are, and then they start to try to take over. And then it rolls into the 3rd act. But before that 100% too, there's a Ken song. This is the one way to topple everything over is make all the Kens go against each other. Yeah. It's a really funny scene where they all basically go to war with each other on the beach. And while they're doing all that kind of stuff, the Barbies are in the background trying to recontrol, take over everything again as well.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting.
Once they gain control over the Barbies again, Margot Robbie and their plan works. Now everybody's goal is, like you just said, to get the Kens away from each other, which is and basically go against each other. And the song sequence, that was really interesting also.
It really was.
It was good choreography.
It was really good with the
It was phenomenal.
It was. And there was a nice homage in the ending of, didn't you see somebody who has something to do with Barbie?
Yes. So there's a scene where, and actually we meant to touch on this earlier, but when she was running through the complex of the cubicles where she was being chased by Will Ferrell's character,
that's where it was, right?
Yeah. She comes across this this random door, and it was a kitchen. And this is all in an office building, and it was the ghost of the woman who created Barbie.
Yep. And she says, she's just like, "Oh well, I'm not perfect and everything. I'm part." And she's like, "No, you're perfect." And there's like a nice scene between the two of them and everything. And she judges based on that at the end.
Oh yeah, so you don't know in the moment where Margot Robbie sees her. I messed up. Yes, spoiler alert, she's a ghost, but you don't know that when you first get introduced to her. I think she's some random employee in the building, and then some random kitchen, and then Barbie continues to go and she's running, and whatever. Then at the end of the movie, the girl comes and you think she's just basically spreading positivity, and she basically tells Barbie she saves everybody, all the Barbies, and she gets the Kens kind of go back to normal, and everything is kind of back to the way it was. They're all kind of just like, oh, so do we go back to partying every single day and just acting as if it's like a Truman Show? And it really was like a coming of age story too for Barbie, Margot Robbie's character, because she's just like, I don't feel like I'm fulfilled knowing what I know. I don't feel like this is for me anymore. So then the girl comes out of nowhere, the owner and creator of Barbie, the original, and she's just like, sweetheart, like this is, you be who you want to be in the end of the day. And then,
well, because the whole point of the other thing is like Will Ferrell's group of people were tailing them the entire time too. So then they finally caught up, and then Will Ferrell caught the end of that speech too, seeing that, and you really like the line that he said. It's so funny.
Will goes, oh yes, what was it? It was like, her ghost keeps us 4 on the 19th floor.
Oh, it's so funny.
The way the line delivery was funny. It was really funny overall. But I think it was beautiful because you realize that Barbie was meant for more, and the overall,
to inspire.
It was to inspire people.
There's a nice montage at the end where you see all I guess it's like people growing from like babies to adults and everything. It's like real life footage and everything. Very Greta Gerwig too. In the way that everything is, there's like a big montage of life happening at the end too, where it shows that Barbie's whole point of existing is to inspire women, and to be better. And it's not necessarily the look wise and everything. It's just to be like them to a certain extent, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, to inspire them, which is nice.
Which is very nice. Yeah, it was very emotional at the end too, overall. But then Barbie makes a final decision, and ultimately she's just like, I don't feel like I belong here anymore. My due diligence here is done. Ken, you could, I guess, take over. She goes, Ken, I think, because Ken's just like, I'm nothing without you, Barbie. I want to be you. And she's like, but you are. You can be anything you want to be in this world. Like, it's not, you don't have to be with me. You don't have to become me. Like, just be you. And I think that's his send-off, basically. He stays, and, he has a newfound look on his perspective and everything. then it flashes to Barbie coming back to the real world, and her name's Barbara now, which is pretty neat. Barbara.
Barbara, yeah.
It was Barbara. And
she's like, "Hi, I'm here to speak with the gynecologist," and it ends.
Ah.
Yeah.
She was in a suit and everything. She was in a dress. That's why I mean.
It was a great movie. Honestly, it was like it's a really, really clever, unique movie.
Yeah, it was one of those movies too where like I couldn't think of a negative thing I saw with that movie. It was probably one of the first things that you and I saw and sat through and were like, every second of that movie I loved overall.
Yeah. I just wish I saw more of it, honestly.
I wish there was more to it. And I hope there is probably going to be bonus features on the DVD that come out, which is going to be pretty neat too.
Yep.
And the soundtrack is pretty neat too overall. But yeah, I thought it was a phenomenal movie. But I think this movie's
going to make a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
I really, really do.
You know the budget for this movie?
$100 million. They're going to make it back so quick.
Yeah.
They're going to make it back so quick and some more money. Again, there's a whole massive meme around this too, because Ryan Gosling is a big, like, but it's the Sigma memes, like of him and like Patrick Bateman and all those people too. So like he's really, really big on top of that too. So just seeing him alone in the movie is going to drive a lot of people in too. And the Oppenheimer thing too. We had to see Oppenheimer.
I'm very excited for Oppenheimer.
No CG in the whole movie. Christopher Nolan blew up 17 people for the art of cinema. And old Hoboken, New Jersey, I heard.
Yeah.
So that was something.
That'll be our next review overall. But yeah, Oppenheimer's out now as well. So
any predictions on what the overall score of Rotten Tomatoes are going to be?
I want to say 80s to 90s.
Okay. Yeah, I'll back up 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll back up 80s. Somewhere in the 80s, hopefully.
It could dip down to 70s because I'm just thinking, with all that we touched on today, if the wrong people hear that, and I'm not sure who's in the critic world to hear that specifically, and how open they are, but it could ruffle some feathers. I can see that.
Sure.
It touches points in the world today.
Yeah, if you're an insecure guy,
yes,
you'll be triggered by this movie, I guess. But it's all well and fun. Who cares?
100%. Yeah, I believe that the audiences, the kids, the young adults, people our age, everyone's gonna love it overall. Yep. So that's the only thing I could see it kind of tampering with. Like it's gonna maybe make or break it. But I think you're right. It's gonna make back over 100 million.
Oh, for sure. This movie's gonna make a crazy amount of money.
Marketing. There's pop-up shops in New York City. We're actually going to one.
We are. Yeah.
Is that next week?
I don't know any of the details, honestly.
I don't know either.
I don't know, man. This month is.
I opted to place your meal before you go and get it.
Did you do that for us, or I didn't do that?
No. We did that.
We did that?
Yeah, I opted in for the burger.
The Barbie burger?
The Barbie burger.
Barbie burger.
I will do it.
I want Ryan Gosling's face on the patty.
I want something like steamed on there. I want Margot Robbie's face on my burger.
The details. This is not. You can lure us into a car so easy.
Well, that's another thing too. With California coming up to the trip in California coming up at the end of August, it's like everyone asks me, "Oh, where in California going?" I couldn't tell you.
Marina Del Rey, Lana Del Rey.
I love Lana Del Rey. Yes, I think she's a great artist.
It's good.
Yeah.
She was James Franco for a bit.
I like that the national anthem. Was she with James Franco? Really?
I got $3,000 to keep my mouth shut.
Oh my
God. I opened it.
Well, that is our Barbie review, folks. Let us know what you like about the movie.
About The Flash.
Yeah.
Congrats on The Flash for not making its budget back of me speaking of this today so that's depressing. But yeah, Warner Brothers is going to definitely make back a lot of money with these two movies coming out too, so that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not going to be a loss. I could see why they let Flash out before, because they're like, you know what, this bombs, we're going to make the money back. They are.
It's going to be depressed when Aquaman comes out.
I hope that gets canceled. I don't want to see that. I honestly will not review. I'm not going to probably review that.
No, I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it.
I'm good. I'm alright, man. I want it to die. I want to see Superman in 2 years. I'll see it then. Alright, cool.
Cool beans. Alright.
That's Barbie.
That is Barbie, folks.